Young and the Restless next week. Noah's brutal beatdown and Phyllis's sultry seduction. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week's sizzle and some scary stuff too because Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, is busy getting busy. She is seducing somebody. Plus, Noah Newman, Rory Gibson, is violently assaulted and kidnapped. We've got the latest YandR spoilers for the week of November 17th. Young and the Restless next week. Sharon and Nick freak. All right, let's start with what is going on with Noah's very worried mom, Sharon Newman. Sharon case. By the end of this week, she is upset to find out Noah went and checked himself out of the hospital without calling or notifying her and his dad, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. The hospital tells them, he's an adult and the doctor said he could go, so he went. Sharon and Nick are freaking out when they come to the hospital and see Noah's room is empty. The guard didn't even bother to warn them. That ticks them off understandably. Of course, when Sharon and Nick try repeatedly to call Noah, well, he's not answering their calls. So they head over to the shadow room to confront Matt Clark. And guess what? That's also where Noah went when he left the hospital. Now, he wasn't looking for Mitch. He was actually looking for Sienna, but that's not who he found. Noah Newman's kidnapping and a web of deceit on YandR. Mitch said he's glad to see Noah on his feet, and he's acting all nice. And then Matt turns up the heat and confronts Noah about his affair with his wife Sienna. But like all cheaters, of course, Noah denies it. And he claims he and Sienna are just friends. Mitch does not buy it and says Noah repaid his kindness by sleeping with his wife. Mitch calls Noah a liar and a cheat and wants to know if he slept with Sienna in their marriage bed. Then sketchy cop detective Burrow, Matt Cohen, shows up with questions for Noah about the accident. Burrow wants to take Noah for a drive out to the crash site to see if it jogs his memory, but he doesn't want to go with the detective. He says he's got to go meet his parents, Sharon and Nick. But Burrow says that's not a request. He tells Noah he has no choice. And since Burrow's got a badge, well, off he goes. After the dirty cop takes Noah away, of course, that's when Sharon and Nick show up and confront Mitch. But he plays dumb and says he hasn't seen Noah. And then Mitch further claims he thought Noah was still in the hospital and tells Sharon and Nick that they are not welcome at his club. A terrifying confrontation and escalating threats on Young and the Restless. Sharon and Nick are threatening to force the truth out of Mitch after they ask him where Sienna is, and maybe she's seen Noah. So Mitch tells Nick, I have no idea where Sienna is. And even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you and Sharon, you need to go away. Matt says that Noah is probably trying to get away from Nick and Sharon because they are annoying helicopter parents and Nick and Sharon are threatening to call the cops. And Matt says, fine, I'll have you arrested for trespassing and threatening me. And Nick says if Matt did anything to Noah, he's a dead man. Yet another threat. So next week we are going to find out what happened after bad guy detective Burrow took Noah from the shadow room. Looks like Burrow also snatched Sienna because Noah is unconscious and Sienna's trapped with Noah. They're in some sort of room. Looks like they're locked in maybe a cell, probably just some basement room somewhere. And Sienna is trying desperately to wake up Noah. He's very disoriented and is asking Sienna what happened. So I think Matt had Burrow stash Sienna and Noah, so he can torment them later. Elsewhere next week, Sharon is lying down in her hotel room when the fire alarm goes off, and of course she grabs her purse, rushes to get out the door, but when she opens it, guess what? Matt is standing there looking menacing, a little terrifying. Sharon gasps and yells out, You! She's all alone. She's at his mercy. So, I wonder if Matt is about to play Pokemon and collect them all. Collect all of his enemies and dump them in that same closet. So, that means Nick might be the next one to go after Matt gets hold of Sharon. I feel like this story is about to jump into hyperdrive as we head into the last week and a half of November sweeps. So Mitch may be dead soon if Sharon gets her way. I mean, Nick's already threatened to kill him. Sharon's threatened to kill him. I feel like the guy is headed for the cemetery. Phyllis's seduction of Kane heats up on YandR. Also at the end of this week at Society, Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, wants to know if Phyllis is trying to seduce him. And Kane admits that if Phyllis is flirting with him, he would be flattered, he'd be intrigued. And Kane also wants to remind Phyllis he's still in love with Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. But Phyllis says, you know what, Kane? That's never going to happen. And Phyllis makes it very clear that she thinks she and Kane are a good match emotionally, professionally, and according to her, sexually. And then Phyllis kisses Kane just as Lily walks in. The queen of timing. Phyllis says she would never ask Kane to change on Young and the Restless. Obviously drawing the difference between her and Lily, and then she takes off. So Kane tells Lily that that was nothing. Phyllis is playing games, and he's working an angle on her. But Phyllis clearly made an impression on Kane, telling him that he's never going to get with Lily because Kane makes one last try. Kane lashes out on YandR. And Lily rejects him completely, totally, firmly, even though she was just telling Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic. Well, maybe, you know. Kane gets upset and says Lily never loved him as much as he loved her. So, broken-hearted Kane chases down Phyllis at the GCAC and Damien Kane tells her she's right. Time for a fresh start. Tells Phyllis he wants to forget the past, focus on the future, and Kane asks Phyllis if she's free tonight. So, next week, Kane is upstairs with Phyllis in her room at the GCAC, and she wants to know if she finally has all of his attention. They're making out, the whole tonsil hockey thing. Kane and Phyllis are getting hot and heavy. And unless somebody interrupts, looks like she may get what she wants and hit the sheets with Kane. Claire, Holden, and Kyle's love triangle intensifies on Young and the Restless. Also next week, Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, is telling Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, that they need to talk about what happened in LA. And I'm sure that was them making love on Halloween, and she was getting all wild. And of course, he's got that big crush on her. So, I wonder if Claire is going to put Holden firmly in the friend zone, or maybe Claire tells Holden it was great, but it was a one and done. I mean, Claire already told Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, that Holden is not the man for her, but that doesn't mean she won't change her mind. Especially because I think Claire is going to find out, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, is going to find out very soon that Claire slept with Holden. And I think Kyle is going to hassle her about having another man in her bed, even though Claire broke up with Kyle and she was completely single. But I think he's going to keep on harping about Holden being a bad man and Claire making bad choices. And that could send her running right back into Holden's arms. Is heating up in ways fans won't soon forget. Next week on The Young and the Restless, the drama escalates to explosive levels as Noah Newman faces a shocking confrontation, while Phyllis Abbott turns up the heat in ways that could shake the Newman-Abbott rivalry to its core. From shocking violence to dangerously enticing seduction, Genoa City's power players are about to make moves that will have everyone talking. Noah Newman faces the wrath of the streets. Noah Newman has always tried to stay on the periphery of Genoa City's most brutal conflicts. But next week, luck is not on his side. After unknowingly stepping into dangerous territory, Noah finds himself cornered by a figure from his past, a man with a score to settle. What begins as a tense exchange quickly spirals into a violent altercation, leaving Noah bloodied and battered. The scenes are raw and intense, with the camera lingering on Noah's struggle as he tries to defend himself. The beatdown isn't just physical, it's deeply personal. Noah's attacker seems to know exactly how to hit him where it hurts, stirring fears and insecurities Noah has tried so hard to bury. Viewers will see a side of Noah that hasn't been explored in depth. The vulnerable, desperate, cornered young man trying to navigate a city that often seems to punish those who play it too straight. Meanwhile, the repercussions of this brutal encounter ripple quickly. Word spreads, alliances are tested, and friends are forced to choose sides. Victoria, ever the protective sister, will stop at nothing to find answers. Her determination will put her in direct conflict with dangerous players, highlighting once again that in Genoa City, even the most innocuous situations can turn deadly fast. Noah's beating also opens the door for intriguing character development. He has always been the quieter Newman sibling, often overshadowed by his father's dominance and his brother's machinations. But this week, the beating serves as a turning point. Will Noah rise from the ashes stronger and more cunning, or will this traumatic event push him into a darker path? Fans are in for a gripping story arc that could redefine Noah Newman's trajectory in Genoa City for months to come. Phyllis Abbott turns up the heat. While Noah battles the physical and emotional aftermath of his attack, Phyllis Abbott is crafting her own brand of chaos, but with allure rather than aggression. Known for her cunning and irresistible charm, Phyllis's next move is a masterclass in seduction designed to disrupt and manipulate. Phyllis has her eyes on a key target, a man whose loyalty has long been a question mark. Using every tool in her arsenal, her beauty, wit, and undeniable confidence, Phyllis sets a trap that is both provocative and psychologically strategic. Her seduction is not merely about romance, it's about power. Every glance, every whisper, and every calculated touch is designed to bend her target's will to hers. Fans will be treated to scintillating scenes that showcase Phyllis at her most manipulative yet captivating. Her sultry maneuvers are paired with sharp dialogue that leaves her target and viewers questioning intentions and outcomes. It's the classic Phyllis strategy. She's not just playing a game, she's rewriting the rules as she goes along. However, Phyllis's seduction is more than just personal gain. This week, her moves threaten to ignite tensions within the Abbott and Newman households. Will her maneuvering spark jealousy, rivalry, or even violence? Genoa City's history shows that when Phyllis is involved, the fallout is always explosive, and next week promises to be no exception. Unexpected twists and shocking alliances. As the week progresses, viewers can expect the unexpected. Noah's beatdown and Phyllis's seduction don't exist in isolation. They intersect in ways that promise high drama. Secrets that have been simmering beneath the surface begin to surface, threatening alliances and loyalties. In a shocking twist, Noah's attacker may have connections that tie directly to Phyllis's current schemes. What seems like two separate storylines could collide in a dramatic sequence that will leave fans questioning who can be trusted. Will Noah be able to recover and fight back, or will Phyllis's manipulations leave him further weakened? The suspense builds with every scene, as the lives of Genoa City's elite hang in a delicate balance. Furthermore, supporting characters are not just bystanders, they are active participants in this chaos. Victoria's determination to protect her brother may put her in direct conflict with Phyllis, while other Newman family members are forced to navigate the treacherous waters between loyalty, revenge, and ambition. The interwoven storylines ensure that every episode next week is packed with tension, drama, and heart-pounding suspense. The stakes are higher than ever. Next week's episodes of The Young and the Restless underscore a simple but powerful truth. In Genoa City, no one is safe. Noah's brutal beatdown is a stark reminder of the physical dangers lurking behind the city's glamorous facades, while Phyllis's sultry seduction highlights the emotional and psychological warfare that defines the high-stakes world of the Newman-Abbott rivalry. Viewers should be prepared for moments of shocking violence, steamy encounters, and plot twists that will redefine the relationships between key players. Whether it's a fight in a dark alley or a whispered promise behind closed doors, the city's power players are all jockeying for control, and the consequences could be devastating. What fans can expect? Noah faces the consequences of a dangerous mistake that leads to a brutal physical and emotional confrontation. Phyllis turns on her charm and strategic prowess to seduce a key player, manipulating the situation to her advantage. Victoria and other Newman family members are drawn deeper into the chaos, forced to make hard decisions that could change alliances forever. Tensions between the Abbott and Newman households reach a fever pitch as seduction and violence collide. Unexpected twists reveal hidden connections between Noah's attacker and Phyllis's schemes, setting the stage for explosive drama. Next week promises to be an unforgettable chapter in The Young and the Restless, blending intense action, seduction, and high-stakes intrigue. Fans should brace themselves for shocking moments that will leave them on the edge of their seats, eagerly waiting to see who will emerge victorious, and who will be left reeling in the aftermath. In Genoa City, the line between love, loyalty, and betrayal has never been thinner, and next week, The Young and the Restless proves that when it comes to drama, the city never Genoa sleeps. City, tension and chaos will hit new highs as two of the city's most iconic characters, Sharon Newman and Nick Newman, find themselves at the epicenter of a spiraling storm. Fans of The Young and the Restless are in for a roller coaster ride as secrets, lies, and impulsive decisions set the stage for heartbreak, betrayal, and shocking confrontations. Here's an exclusive look at what's coming up for Sharon and Nick next week. Sharon's world spirals out of control. Sharon has always walked a fine line between rationality and chaos, but next week, that line disappears entirely. After a series of emotional blows, including mounting pressure from her family and her ongoing personal struggles, Sharon's fragile composure finally snaps. Early in the week, she's seen pacing in her living room, her phone clutched tightly, messages flying back and forth. Every word she receives seems to push her further over the edge. The tension peaks when she unexpectedly crosses paths with a figure from her past, someone who knows all of Sharon's deepest secrets. The encounter is brief, but it triggers a flood of emotions: fear, guilt, anger, and desperation. By midweek, Sharon's stress manifests in erratic behavior, leaving her family and friends concerned. Nikki, ever the voice of reason, tries to intervene, but Sharon's mind is already racing ahead, imagining worst-case scenarios that may or may not be real. Viewers can expect some particularly intense scenes where Sharon's mental state is on full display. Expect long, silent stares, frantic pacing, and emotional outbursts that leave everyone around her bewildered. The writers are clearly setting the stage for a major showdown, and every fan knows that when Sharon reaches this point, drama follows. Nick faces his own turmoil. Meanwhile, Nick Newman is far from immune to the chaos unfolding around him. As Sharon's life begins to unravel, Nick finds himself caught between concern, confusion, and a sense of betrayal. The strain between them has been building for weeks, but next week, it erupts in full force. Nick's storyline centers on trust, family loyalty, and the personal toll of dealing with a loved one in crisis. Fans can expect intense dialogue and emotionally charged confrontations. Nick's frustration grows as Sharon makes decisions that seem impulsive and reckless. There's a powerful scene midweek where Nick confronts Sharon about her latest choices, demanding answers that she is either unwilling or unable to give. The confrontation is raw and unfiltered, highlighting both characters' vulnerabilities. Adding fuel to the fire, external pressures continue to mount. Corporate and family conflicts begin colliding with personal struggles, placing Nick in an impossible position. Viewers will see him torn between standing by Sharon and protecting the rest of his family. It's a balancing act that no Newman has ever navigated easily, and the tension is palpable. The trigger event, secrets revealed. The most dramatic turning point next week revolves around a revelation that threatens to shatter Sharon and Nick's already strained relationship. A carefully kept secret comes to light, one that could have consequences for both their personal and professional lives. This revelation sparks immediate panic and frantic attempts to control the fallout. But Genoa City has a way of making secrets impossible to keep. The showrunners are clearly teasing a sequence where Sharon and Nick react in drastically different ways. Sharon's response is impulsive and emotional, driven by fear and shame. Nick, on the other hand, struggles to maintain his composure, trying to balance empathy with a sense of justice. The resulting conflict is explosive, setting up one of the week's most intense story arcs. Family tensions boil over. As always in Genoa City, family dynamics play a critical role in heightening the drama. Sharon and Nick's turmoil doesn't exist in a vacuum. It reverberates through the Newman and Abbott families. Nikki, Victoria, and even Adam are drawn into the fray, each with their own agendas, loyalties, and opinions about how the situation should be handled. Viewers can expect heated exchanges and manipulative strategies from both sides. Nikki, the ever-persistent mother, tries to protect Sharon while nudging Nick toward rational decisions. Victoria, meanwhile, keeps a careful eye on the unfolding drama, weighing the potential impact on the family's reputation and fortune. Adam, of course, is ready to exploit any vulnerability, ensuring the stakes remain sky-high. The resulting clashes promise shocking moments, misunderstandings, and emotional roller coasters that will keep fans glued to their screens. Unexpected alliances and betrayals. Next week's episodes aren't just about conflict. They're about the unpredictable nature of relationships in Genoa City. As Sharon and Nick navigate their personal crises, unexpected alliances emerge. Some friends and family members offer support, while others exploit weaknesses for personal gain. One particularly intriguing subplot involves a character whose loyalties remain unclear. This person inserts themselves into Sharon and Nick's troubles under the guise of help, but their true intentions may be more self-serving than anyone realizes. The suspense builds as viewers try to determine whether this character is a genuine ally or a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Heart-stopping cliffhangers. True to the Young and the Restless style, next week's episodes will end with nail-biting cliffhangers. Sharon and Nick's storylines intersect in moments of high tension, and the outcomes are anything but predictable. Will Sharon's impulsive choices drive Nick away permanently? Will family interventions diffuse the tension or escalate it? And just when viewers think they have a handle on the drama, an unforeseen twist throws everything into chaos. Expect scenes that leave you gasping, emotionally raw, and eagerly awaiting the next episode. Whether it's a shocking confession, a secret revealed at the worst possible moment, or an emotional breakdown that changes the course of relationships forever, Genoa City is bracing for one of its most unforgettable weeks of drama yet. Fan reactions and theories. Fans have already begun speculating on social media about the impact of next week's events. Discussions range from Sharon's mental state to Nick's loyalty, and everyone has a theory about how the week will unfold. Some believe Sharon's erratic behavior could lead to a long-term separation from Nick, while others argue that the Newman bond is unbreakable. The fan engagement alone is a testament to the show's ability to keep viewers on edge. Each plot twist is dissected, each emotional beat analyzed, and every episode sparks passionate debates across forums and social media platforms. Next week promises to elevate this engagement to unprecedented levels, keeping Young and the Restless fans glued to their screens and their devices. Conclusion: a week of high-stakes drama. Next week in Genoa City is shaping up to be a stormy, emotionally charged week for Sharon and Nick. From shocking revelations to family interventions, from impulsive decisions to intense confrontations, the coming episodes promise drama, suspense, and heart-stopping moments. As Sharon's world spirals and Nick faces impossible choices, fans can expect a week of storytelling that will leave them questioning loyalty, morality, and the very fabric of the Newman family had never been a stranger to scandal, betrayal, or shocking twists. But this week's developments surrounding Noah Newman were poised to push the drama to an unprecedented level. Noah, the once protected youngest member of the Newman clan, found himself trapped in a dangerous game that intertwined kidnapping, lies, and secrets that no one could have foreseen. It all began innocuously enough, or at least innocuous by Genoa City standards. Noah had been in his usual rhythm, balancing work and personal life, when he started noticing strange occurrences. Mysterious phone calls with heavy breathing on the other end, a car tailing him after work, and fleeting shadows outside his apartment window made his normally calm demeanor crack. At first, he tried to dismiss these as paranoid imaginings, but when a threatening note slipped under his door reading, "We know everything. Don't tell anyone," panic took hold. Noah confided in his mother, Sharon, whose maternal instincts immediately flared. Sharon had always been the protector of the Newman kids, even when they grew older and thought themselves invincible. But there was something different about this threat. Someone was not just watching Noah, they were orchestrating events with chilling precision. Meanwhile, Victor Newman, ever the patriarch, was being kept in the dark. Victor was notorious for his vigilance, yet this time, Sharon decided to shield him, fearing that his intervention would escalate the situation dangerously. Little did she know, her protective secrecy would only deepen the layers of deceit surrounding her son. The kidnapping happened fast, alarming in its suddenness. Noah had gone to meet a contact who promised information about recent shady dealings in Genoa City, a tip he couldn't resist as a journalist. As he walked into the dimly lit warehouse, the door slammed behind him. Masked figures restrained him before he could react. It was a meticulously planned abduction, clearly orchestrated by someone who knew his movements intimately. Back at the Newman ranch, Sharon received a chilling call. Noah was alive, but only because they had a very specific demand. The abductors wanted access to certain confidential documents Victor had been rumored to possess. As Sharon hung up, dread and anger surged through her veins. She knew that to protect Noah, she'd have to navigate a labyrinth of deception where every ally could be a potential threat. Sharon's first instinct was to enlist the help of Nicky Newman, her longtime friend and confidant. Nicky, seasoned in the art of strategy in Genoa City, immediately started connecting the dots. They realized the kidnapping was not random. It was tied to a larger scheme, one that involved someone very close to the Newman family. And the more they dug, the more terrifying the picture became. Evidence started pointing to a figure from Noah's past, someone who had once been a trusted friend but had vanished under suspicious circumstances. This person had grievances with Victor, and now it appeared that Noah had unwittingly stepped into the middle of a vendetta decades in the making. Every phone call, every shadow, every carefully placed note pointed to a conspiracy that stretched back years. It wasn't just a crime, it was personal. As Sharon and Nicky navigated the murky waters of Genoa City politics, Noah's own resourcefulness came into play. Even while restrained, he began to notice patterns in the captors' routines. He overheard snippets of their conversations and mapped out possible exits from the warehouse. But each attempt to escape was thwarted by psychological manipulation. The kidnappers seemed to anticipate his every move. They played mind games, showing photos of his family and threatening harm, ensuring he felt isolated and powerless. Meanwhile, Victor, initially kept in the dark, started sensing that something was off. His instincts told him Sharon was hiding the full truth. In a tense confrontation, Sharon reluctantly shared the situation with him. Victor's response was immediate and fierce. "No one threatens my family and walks away. No one." His presence brought a new dynamic to the unfolding crisis. Victor, with his vast resources and intimidating influence, began tracking down leads that no one else could, threatening the very underworld circles that orchestrated Noah's abduction. As days passed, the web of deceit grew ever more tangled. The abductors were revealed to be part of a coordinated scheme involving corporate espionage, long-held grudges, and betrayal within Genoa City's elite. Shockingly, the mastermind behind it all turned out to be someone completely unexpected. A figure who had ingratiated themselves into the Newman inner circle, their charming demeanor hiding a ruthless ambition. The revelation sent shockwaves through the family. How could someone they trusted so completely plot such a sinister act? The climax approached when Noah, using his intelligence and courage, found a critical weakness in the captor's plan. He managed to send a secret message to Sharon through a seemingly innocuous medium, a coded text hidden within a news article he had written. Sharon and Victor acted immediately, orchestrating a daring rescue. The confrontation was tense and explosive, with Noah using both wits and courage to aid in his own liberation. When the dust settled, Noah was reunited with his family, but the ordeal left permanent scars. Trust had been shattered, alliances questioned, and the line between friend and foe blurred forever. Victor, while relieved, was more vigilant than ever, issuing veiled warnings to anyone who might consider threatening his family again. Sharon, proud yet anxious, realized that protecting her children meant constantly walking a tightrope of secrecy and strategy. Yet, amidst the chaos, there was a subtle victory. Noah's bravery, resilience, and intelligence had been proven beyond doubt. He had faced danger head-on, outsmarted his captors, and survived a situation that could have ended tragically. And while the future of Genoa City's power struggles remained uncertain, one thing was clear. Noah Newman was no longer just a bystander in his family's legacy. He had emerged as a figure capable of navigating the treacherous currents of deceit, betrayal, and ambition that defined Genoa City itself. The story of Noah's kidnapping was more than a simple tale of danger. It was a testament to the fragile nature of trust, the pervasive shadows of deception, and the unbreakable bonds of family. As Genoa City's elite whispered in corners and strategized in boardrooms, one truth remained unshakable. Noah Newman's ordeal had changed the game forever. No one would dare underestimate the Newman family again, not after the night when deceit, danger, and courage collided in the most shocking chapter of all.